Hi everybody. I'm Hannah Imperial Cannon with Xencelabs. I'm head of business development here. Super happy to be here with Remington Scott, actually a longtime friend of mine for many, many years. Remington Scott he is the CEO and chief architect of Hyperreal. Hyperreal is a company that partners with A-list talent and brands creating metaverse entertainment. He is a futurist. I know this well. He is a futurist for his ability to pick technology winners and implement them into production that have won awards and defined new industries. He has proven to be the tip of the spear in leading cutting edge animation and new media development that has showcased time and time again. He has brought on new potential and opportunities in the digital human and entertainment world. Thank you, Remy. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Hannah. Hey, so we know each other for a lifetime. We grew up together, and it's a real honor to be doing this with you and a part of the series here.
Yeah, so, I think high school, right?
Yeah, so this is great. And so thanks for having me. Thanks to Xencelabs. And it's good to be here. So I'll just get started then. Should I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Here we go. Share. Great. So you should see it says Hyperreal.
Yes.
Great.
All good.
Okay. Well, welcome to Hyperreal. And we are the company that creates HyperModels, the HyperModel platform for A-list talent. Partner with A-list talent, and we build brands and digital humans and the metaverse entertainment space. I'll talk all about this in a little bit more detail, but first, just do a quick background on me. Hello, that's my HyperModel. It's a tier 1 digital human that we're looking at. We call that the Hyperion class. And he's fully emotional and high fidelity. He's higher fidelity than your eyes can see. There is sub-poor resolution in this HyperModel, and that's why he looks so real. And what you're seeing here is in Unreal Engine in real time, ray traced. And so this is what the future of digital humans are going to look like in games today. That's what we're doing. My background is in games. I was in the early 1990s. I was one of a handful of people that first identified motion capture technology when it was in a medical lab. And we were doing digitized video games in 2D. And we thought that there was an opportunity to digitize people in 3D. So we identified the technology from the medical industry, and we brought it into the entertainment industry. And we created the first motion capture studio in the world dedicated to entertainment. And that was at Acclaim Entertainment. And that's where we started to see the first digital humans that moved like real humans, interactively. And we had to build a pipeline around that, animation tool sets, and a whole way of editing and manipulating the data. And that now has become standard for the entertainment industry, for motion capture, for video games, for films. So the next step obviously was to take the technology from games and then put it into films. So I did that where I was a director on a feature film called Final Fantasy. And that was the first movie to use motion capture for all the principal performers. And then took the technology to Weta Digital. I set up the performance capture pipeline at Weta and oversaw the character of Gollum and the other digital humans that were using performance capture for Two Towers. We won the Academy Award for this work. And what you're seeing here, over here, is Gollum in real time. So he's basically retargeted from Andy Serkis onto the Gollum puppet, and he's completely integrated into the scenes. So we were able to see the digital version of Gollum in real time, as you could see here in the shots. And we were talking to Gollum, and he was talking back to us on the screens. So this is the first real, I think, the first beginnings of where we started to see what virtual production was going to look like. Weta still uses this technology in the animation division. It's a big part of their what they do to create digital humans and such. They've used this for the Avatar films and for Planet of the Apes. And surprisingly, the same system that we had at Acclaim was what has been at Weta for many years, driving those digital humans, specifically for Gollum. And then I was fortunate enough to be a supervisor at Sony Pictures, overseeing the Digital Human Initiative. And what you're seeing here is Tobey Maguire, his digital avatar. And we were the first team to create a realistic digital human for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where they don't have to wear masks. You can see them completely as a real human, where they can speak. And so it really opened the door to being able to create digital humans. And it certainly did for Sony Pictures and Sony ImageWorks, coming out after this with a suite of films such as Beowulf that were completely CGI humans that were drafting off of this early technology. But what you're seeing here that's important is the first use of the light stage technology. Light stage was created at the University of Southern California under Paul Debevic's guidance and direction. And when we identified that, it was something that was in the academics, and we looked at bringing that technology into film and using that as a tool to create more realistic humans. And so we were the first team to do that and identify that technology, bring it in. And now the light stage technology is a fundamental technology in creating digital humans. The team at Hyperreal is one of the best teams in the world. It's the world-class team on creating digital humans. And it's a team I've worked with for over a decade now, before we started Hyperreal. And these are leaders and supervisors at companies like Sony ImageWorks, Industrial Light and Magic, Weta, working on blockbuster feature films that have won Academy Awards for their visual effects work. And they've been working with some of the most demanding producers and directors in the industry on these top grossing films and best-selling video games. We've been building digital humans for everyone else's productions. And so we decided at some point to form Hyperreal as a company, so that way we can build digital humans specifically for talent. And that's what we do here at Hyperreal. Also of note is we have an incredible executive team around us, very seasoned businessmen that are helping us build the company of Hyperreal into a very important, not just a animation metaverse company, but into an important company with global presence right now. So I'll just give you guys a couple examples of some work that we've been doing over the years. Here is one of our digital humans of actress Fan Bingbing. She is one of the most famous actresses in China. She's a music performer, and she's a fashion icon. And we created this digital version of her about 5 years ago. And this is now went on to star, her digital avatar has went on to star in 3 completely CG films. The company that went to make these movies desired to create movies where there are realistic digital humans performing And that's why they hired us to come in and build the humans and the infrastructure and how they can and do this. So, we were brought on again by these studios to build the humans for them and help them bring them to life. This is a little bit of a process that we do. I'm just going to give you kind of behind the scenes of what we do here. On the right, you see is a photo from a scan session. We have talent come in, and we have an array of cameras that are extremely high fidelity sensors that allow us to record the micro imagery of the face on an extremely high fidelity, high resolution level, and then reconstruct that data into 3D. And what you're seeing here on the left is the 3D digital version of this performer. On the left is an example of the number of facial expressions that we capture. We work with talent to make sure we can record every kind of facial expression, emotion that they have, and then their digital version will be able to have that kind of emotional value. And then on the right of your screen, you're seeing a test of the light on the skin shader, and we make sure that the skin reacts appropriately to any kind of lighting scenario, and we build these shaders so that way they're very accurate to how the real human skin is. So now we have a completed digital human. Even though it says 3D digital avatar, in our vernacular, we use the term HyperModel. This is our brand for Hyperreal for the high-level digital human. Avatar represents any number of digital humans within the flavor spectrum. There could be a cartoon-like digital human, or an avatar can be realistic. It's too broad for us. We're very focused on the hyperreal digital human aspect, and that's why our digital avatars are called hypermodels. And so, as you can see here, he's ready to go into our vault, and then he's going to come out and work. When he does work, we add hair, we add clothing and makeup. We concept that with producers and directors. And then he's here performing as a principal performer in an all CGI film. That's what he looks like. We work with talent. One of the talent that I'll show you today is Jackie Chan. This is his digital version that we created. And what you're seeing is examples of this, of the hypermodel. And interestingly enough, Jackie doesn't need a digital version of himself. He actually does all of his own stunts. And in traditional film, or in film these days, when a performer is going to do something like jump out of the window of a building, it has been the stuntman that does the work for them. And now, more recently, it is a computer-generated version of themselves that will jump out of the window. But Jackie does that stuff still. He's still all of it, So the question is, why does he need or would want a computer-generated version of himself? And that is to expand his capability of being at multiple places simultaneously. So this is what we're seeing is, again, Asia leading the way in many ways on what they're using digital humans for. And we're working globally with talent to help them find opportunities and ways to take their digital hypermodels and put them to work where they and help them expand their capabilities. It's great, but there's just one little problem with this, is that who wants to have an old hypermodel? Why not be young? And so we got an Epic Mega Grant, And we created this younger version. We de-aged Jackie here. And this is in real time in the Unreal Engine. And so now the opportunity for talent like Jackie to be able to do anything that they want to do again, or expand the universe of things that they've already created, be able to turn back the time and take on even new opportunities. He can not just be an action star. With this, he can now perform in concerts, or be a fashion icon if he wanted. The opportunities when you have a hypermodel is expansive. It's the center of the metaverse universe, and this is what we're creating for the talent that we partner with. This what I've showed you is two technologies where you see my version, and I have a digital version of myself. That's basically what we call a Gemini technology. This is Madison Beer. This is our Gemini technology. It's a digital version of herself at the current age that she is at. And her getting herself a digital version like this is extremely important. It stops the aging process. It allows her to have a very valuable asset that she works with in the future. This technology, our Gemini technology, again, the digital versions. We have what you've seen with Jackie is another technology where we de-age, and we do that. We call that our fountain technology, and then we have another one where we work on resurrecting deceased talent, and that's our Phoenix technology. So what you're seeing here for Madison is her virtual concert that Sony's new immersive music division worked with us to create. We digitized Madison. We created her hypermodel, and then we brought it to life here. And what you're seeing is her hypermodel performing in a virtual world, which is the Sony Music Hall in New York City, recreated with all new kinds of interactive effects. This premiered on TikTok, and now it's on YouTube. You could see it. It's called Life Support. It was also had other iterations where you can, Verizon had this concert on an AR mobile device where you can, using 5G, you're able to pixel stream the event in real-time ray tracing onto your mobile device and move around and watch her. So they used that to demonstrate what that looks like. Also, it was on in VR as well, with Oculus from Facebook. And so these events we create for talent, they can live on multiple different platforms and expand and be part of a larger universe for how talent likes to move forward. Here's another example. We produced this music video. It's called "Find My Way," starring Paul McCartney and Beck. And what you're seeing here, even though you think it's Paul McCartney, it looks like Paul McCartney. This is not Paul McCartney. This is a dancer, and he's doing these great moves. Then what happened was we changed his face, and we're able to put Paul's face onto this person's body. So it now appears that Paul is doing all of this moves, and he's been de-aged, and this is what that looks like. So you can check out that music video online. And I'm gonna just leave you guys here again with my hypermodel, just so you can kind of get a sense of what this looks like in a little bit more detail. So this is what we're building. Part of what makes them so real is literally the detail that we're getting, and that's it's a very exciting times. It's like maximum resolution is where we're at. Hyperreal is currently taking the technologies that we've been working on for the last 20 years and improving on those technologies now. This year, we've seen advancements in machine learning and AI, and we're finding that there's new exciting ways to drive digital faces and performances that will open up incredible opportunities for talent to be much more realistic than what avatars look like in the past. Hence, the hypermodel is to be born at this time, and we think the hypermodel is going to be the platform of the future for A-list talent. So make sure you visit our site. It's hyperreal.io, and stay connected with us. We're on Facebook as well. And, I look forward to hearing from everyone here, and we can open this up to some questions or answers if we'd like.
Remy, that's just absolutely phenomenal. I'm just blown away, and I'm sure everybody who's watching this is blown away. You've had an amazing career and doing such wonderful work. I'm ready to come over and get my hypermodel. The DH one, please.
I know, right? I got to put that guy to work.
Yeah, so it's just groundbreaking, the things that you're doing. And I know earlier we were talking about that microscope that you have over there in the back on the corner. I'd love to hear a little bit about your microscope, what you do with that.
No, we just need to look at things in very detail. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I think Shannon was looking over at some questions. I don't know if we have so many questions, just more of people saying just that's amazing and absolutely gorgeous work that you're doing. And I can't thank you enough for being here and sharing that with everyone.
Great. Well, it's my pleasure. It really is. I'm very thankful to be here today. I appreciate having me here, Hannah. It means a lot, and to be part of Xencelabs, this is really great here.
Yeah, and I actually have one question. I mean, I'm just personally entirely mind blown by your work. I don't have any kind of concept of essentially what you do, other than that the result is amazing, and there's a lot of work and science that goes into it. But I guess my question is, where do you see, or where would you want to take hyperreal avatars like in 50 years? Like, how could you see that coming into maybe like our daily lives?
That's actually a great question. That's what we're working on right now. The key that Shannon, that's a great question. The key here is that talent has a way to connect into this technology that has become the future of entertainment, right? So, and let me just put a pin in that for a second and just talk about that just really quickly. The 20th century was defined in entertainment by the camera and the lens, and that's how we saw the 20th century. And the 21st century is now being defined by the chip. And so you need to be able to have a digital version of yourself to be using this new technology, to be in the chip. And that's where we see this moving forward. So on the very basic level, it's what we want to do is we acquire the digital DNA of talent. It's how they look, it's how they move, it's how they speak. It's all the elements that make them who they are, and then put that into an AI machine learning system, so that way we can generate new IP for the talent using their core DNA, so that way it is them, that is now part of engaging with their fans, and I mean that as it's very important that. We have so many streams and so many people engaging on so many platforms. It's really hard to keep up. if you're an A-lister, with somebody who's got a YouTube channel or whatever is going on, and they're constantly putting new content out, and you only put out one movie every 2 years or something. It's important that you want to be engaging and having a technology that will allow you to engage with your fans and be like gamifying this stuff. And that's where we're going with this. And so the key here is that it's an essential part of the new metaverse vernacular that's starting to we're creating, many companies are creating, and finding how to build an entertainment center of that's going to be a very large part of our lives moving forward, through the rest of the century and beyond. And so, I think to answer your question shortly is just building new opportunities that allow talent to be able to explore and develop, and monetize their capabilities in these new technology platforms.
Wow.
Yeah, we have some more questions rolling in. One of them, most of them are just mind blown, to be completely honest. Ace says probably the closest thing to immortality. But we have a question of, what project did you learn the most from, and which was your favorite?
Oh, that's great. It's funny because every project is a learning project. Today, as well as 10 years ago, there is no summit. It's not like, oh, we've done it and then that's it. It's constantly evolving. So we're always learning to be better, and everything we do, we're seeing how we can constantly improve what we do. So there is a constant technology learning, and you got to love to learn to be in this field. You can't just expect that you're going to just get something and that's it. It's all about engaging with the latest technologies, finding something that is new, that is innovative, and trying to find ways to implement that into a pipeline and then build on that. So that's part of our core way that we work, is to make sure that we're always upgrading, always changing, and always finding the latest tech. And if anything, that's how we stay on the tip of the spear. Otherwise, it's just gonna fall to the wayside. That's how I see it. My favorite project is my favorite project that I've worked on, or got to be probably Final Fantasy: Spirits Within. And I'll tell you why. Because I lived in New York all my life, and then I got a call from the producer at Square, and I literally was, playing Final Fantasy VII when the phone rang, and he's like, "Hi, I'm the producer at Square. Have you ever heard of us?" I'm like, "I'm literally playing Final Fantasy VII." I had to put the controller down to pick up the phone, and he's like, "Well, we want to make a movie in Hawaii, and we'd like to know if you want to come out and be a director on this film." I was like, "Yes, I'll be there." He's like, "Good, come out tomorrow." And that's how it started. And then I was there for almost 4 years, working on that film with like the greatest crew ever. Everybody from all over the world. We had an international team, people from Japan, from Europe, from America, coming together in Hawaii, probably over 200 people, all of them working together as a team. Like it was like going to college, but you're older, and just living this great life, doing things that we love to do. And why I love that so much is the experience, but also 20 years on now. It was 2001 that film was released.
That was
20 years on now, I'm still connected with all of these people I've worked with, and I look at the movies, and I love watching movies and seeing their names really big on the screen, major players in the space, and just, you know, enjoying that, the success of seeing so many talented people having great careers. And I love that.
Yeah, I remember when that movie came out, it was just, you know, we were racing to the movie theaters to see it, just groundbreaking, really. Wonderful. I remember, can't believe it was so long ago.
No.
I think there's one more question from Ansley. She says, do you think this kind of technology would ever go beyond talent or media?
So yes, I think so. I think that the technology is going to expand, and it's going to keep expanding. And we're, you know, we see that there's opportunities in working with, say, brands on building unique synthetic versions of people that don't exist, but they are brand centric. Think like, you know, the Colonel for KFC, or, you know, like a character like that, that's part of the brand, but it's unique. I think that that's part of where this is going to go. There's going to be unique talent that are synthetic as well, that are, you know, going to be performing new music or starting to star in probably on social media, and then as virtual influencers, and then work their way into film level quality products. I mean, we already saw, like, for Final Fantasy, you know, Aki was not, she was the principal character in the film. She did not exist in real life. And they even started to spin out her in appearances where she was in, like, Maxim magazine. And she had other things that, you know, they were really thinking about how to create her as a virtual identity that had a real life influence.
That's
and
right.
now we're seeing the virtual influencers like Lil Michaela coming out, doing the similar types of things and beyond. And it's quite exciting where that's at. And I think that this is going to expand, and many people are going to have capabilities of having a version of themselves of some kind. But our focus at Hyperreal is to, we believe that the A-list talent that we work with, they want to have a very premium experience, and it's about being, you know, what we believe is being the best for them. And so, you know, there's many others that will focus on trying to capture or make avatars of everybody, and we fully support that, and believe that that's going to be exciting. But there's got to be a place where something is unique and special in this field. And like I said, that's why we keep developing new technologies to always be on the forefront of this. And that's where we live, on the very cutting edge and the very tip of the spear. So that way, the A-list talent that we work with are always, leading the way, and in the entertainment that they're creating.
Wow. Again, phenomenal. I think we're out of time, Rem, but let's just end this again and say thank you. It's just, this is just wonderful work you do. And I know we're all kind of mind blown. I'm going to sleep at night about and think about all the things that you could do with this technology. Just phenomenal.
Thanks,
Thank
Hannah.
you so much, hon.
Okay, thanks, Hannah. Thanks.